Thank you. Okay, so there will be people who should have read at this that I didn't know to invite. Um, Nellie Wong is clearly a deeply beloved person in the poetry community and the community of politics, and she will clearly be missed. I'm going to have a challenge getting through this, so you might get to see me cry. It doesn't happen very often, but you might get to see me cry. I had really great poetry teachers. I was born at exactly the right moment in San Francisco, and among those were a lot of people I love who are in the room right now. But significantly, one of the significant moments of my coming to poetry was seeing Unbound Feet 3 read. And then I had the great privilege of taking a class from Merle Wu at San Francisco State. And I did ask if she could be here, but it's just not practical with her current state of health and being. And she suggested that I read a specific poem, and I couldn't get the rhythm of it correctly, so I have taken a liberty. And instead of that, I'm going to read something else, part of something else that Merle wrote for Nellie. I'm reading a section out of Some Basic Ingredients for Home Movies. For Nellie Wong, whom Emily fondly calls the Belle, because her words are melodic, courageous, clear, and sing out. First, take the bells that are loudly but harmoniously ringing all around us today. Voices of writing women and writers of color fighting to be heard, and in precise, clear tones, sounding the alarm against all the symptoms of a psychotic, oppressive society, and singing out for social change. Then add the gallery of voices, voices from the Peanut Gallery, the second balcony, and the choir loft. The gallery of voices I hear are old women's voices of my family and my people, all auntie and Sinai. Women I rarely see anymore or never saw, but hear, clamoring for me to give them affirmation. My auntie Li Ching was in a convalescent hospital a couple of years ago, and I never forgot or lost the pain of seeing so many elderly Asian women in these sterile, antiseptic rooms, isolated, uncommunicative in their chairs by their beds. The old women who were in the room with Auntie Li Ching were silent and alone, but their bright dark eyes glittered with intelligence and history, and I thought of the stories they must have within them, and what a tragedy it is for us that they will remain untold. It's a very small piece of that very long and wonderful bit of writing. But when I was thinking about Nellie, apart from my experience of Nellie, I just live up the street. And so we ran into each other regularly. And we'd run into each other. And it was always good. And sometimes she'd be at my house, and that was also good. But she was so part of a really important thing that happened here in San Francisco, which was an attempt to create a more inclusive feminism. And a really pivotal part of that, and eventually somebody's going to write a master's thesis about it, or they should, because a lot of the really great poets of that moment in San Francisco absolutely changed the temperature of feminism, at least for us here, which I think is enormously important and valuable. She was an amazing poet, and you're going to hear a lot of other people read some of her poetry and some things that they've written about her. But there's also that key political aspect. And I wanted to say something political right now because I feel like I don't want to be woken out of sleep by by dreaming of her telling me that I should have said something political. Because it's a lot of those things that Merle said in that bit that I read are equally valid now. This is what we're doing now. And so we have to take up the mantle of and some of us have it on already, but there are some younger poets in here. This is the job, and this is when. And we have great examples to build off of. And I could wish she was still with us. I will miss her a lot. It was some good innings, and she did a lot of great work. So I just want to, my part of this, I just want to say thank you to her. And that this event is part of my thank you to her. And I'm going to invite Robert Rubino up to read some of Nellie. And one of yours?
One of mine and one of hers.
One of yours and one of hers.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. And thank you all for being here.
I don't know if I'll get through this either, but I'll try. My wife Terry and I knew Nellie only for the last 4 years, but those were years of intense friendship and joy and laughter and sharing meals and sharing films. I keep rereading Nellie's last book, Nothing Like Freedom, and I'm struck by how multi-layered of an artist she was. You can read these poems one way and then go back to it a second time and see them another way and a third way and on and on and on. And very few writers, in my opinion, can do that. She did. One of my favorites of hers from her last book, it's pretty short, but I think it's a good example of Nellie's vibrant personality and her wonderful sense of humor. She called it art. Approaching old age with a cleaver, murder certainly is not my intent. Stretching arthritic fingers, a daily endeavor. The dance on the chopping block beckons seizure, creating a tango of firmament. Garlic and onions, pungent creatures. Fingers grip the handle of wooden texture, command the hand with wild orange scent. White hair bequeaths attenuating features. Old devil years weep and sing with pleasure. Tiger near my body causes no accident, allowing key to flow with timely measure. Approaching old age creaks with more than gesture, wrestle or wrangle with hours well spent. The art of aging takes work and leisure, walking the picket line for ample pleasure. This is a poem that my wife and I presented to Nellie on her 91st birthday last September. Nellie at 91. 4 years ago, we didn't know Nellie Wong, didn't know this writer of poetry, lyrical and historical, gastronomical and familial, waterfalls of images falling upon the page, or pinballing, caroming in a voice steady, strong. Didn't know this fighter for social justice, for workers and immigrants, for feminism and for peace, this fighter against racism, ageism, capitalism. Didn't know this connoisseur of food and music and movies. And now we do. We know Nellie now. Nothing short of amazing. Through coincidence and luck and unseen twists and turns of time and circumstance, mutual acquaintances, mutual interests. She's our friend and we are hers. Nothing short of amazing indeed. Makes us want to smile and cry. Tears of joy, of course. We wish this connection had waved its magic wand 10 years ago, or 20, or 30, or 40, or 50. Wouldn't it be something if we had befriended Nellie when we and she were at SF State, late bloomers in the 1970s? But that's being greedy, and greed ain't good, despite what Michael Douglas at Gordon Gekko says in Wall Street. Well, we know Nellie now. And knowing Nellie, well, that's a gift for which we're grateful. Thank you.
Hey, Alice, you want to make your way up here? My career is divided into several sections, and early in my sort of mid part of my career, I was asked to read on a bill with Nellie and Al Young. And if people could turn off their phones, that'd be great. And I just want to say, even if you've got a lot of practice, there are moments that can be a little bit intimidating. They were both fabulous, and I limped along. Okay, Alice Rogoff wanted to read a specific piece.
I've known Nellie from various places. I knew her from the Labor Council. She had worked for UCSF, and then she joined a Labor Fest writing group that had been going on for several years, and it was amazing that she kept coming to our group and writing on prompts. And we put out an anthology that has 30 pages of writing by Nellie, and this is a poem at the end of her pages called Growing. Growing old is a question of love, of tenacity. Even if you don't understand the ravages of aging, even if you can't walk as nimbly as a 7-year-old. Look at it this way. Immortality carries weight from the gods, all of whom never descend to earth, illuminating the material, the majesty of working people. On land, on sea, in the mountains of Peru, or in yellow earth's crust, in waters where dragons reign, Neverland is a concept. What springs forth? What rises? Everlasting the will to resist an oppressor's hands, his rules lording over our working bodies, laboring in factories, fields, offices. Lunch may be a tamale, a cha-su bao, steamed rice, a wedge of pizza. Imagination looms from a back that aches, a mind that sings, ever so softly of poems that are all about love. Windows to see through if you live in a house overlooking the bay where boats disappear into fog. Nocturnal rhythms beat inside the heart in a state of grace, of mortality, running its legs, fierce against the ancient wind.
Clara, you want to head up? So one of my uncle-in-laws was a dim sum chef. Yeah. And I had heard Nellie read about a specific dumpling. And so I made them for her one time. And she was really kind about it. I'm a reasonably good cook, but I'm pretty sure it didn't taste the way she remembered them. Clara.
Hi, everyone. I'm Clara Sue. I don't remember when I met Nellie, but I somehow managed to invite her to do a show with me at the Clarion in Chinatown. It's a poetry show, and I wanted to include Chinese and English poems together. So I asked Nellie, I said, do you have any poems in Chinese? She said, yes, but I've never read it in front of people. And I said, well, why don't you just read it for me? So she read it, and it was in Toisan, which is a dialect that I'm not familiar with, but she moved me to tears. And it was about her mother. I feel that poetry can do this. You don't have to understand the language, but it can move you just the same. And after that, Nellie and I actually did some dual readings together. So I wrote this for Nellie, and it's titled Dialogues. On the day you left, I was in the mountains. Water roared downstream as I ascended the rainbow steps. A week of rain made everything wet. The mine shafts of gold and silver were closed, but they've been closed a long time ago. A long time ago, we wrote to each other, silver, you said, is not aluminum. Gold, I said, is a glittering dress. Pop, pop, pop. He's in the first line of fire, you said. And what is the constitution of rain? I asked. You flew off, freed from the troubled world. I chose my steps with care, too afraid to look up, lest I slipped and fell down the slope. Thank you.
The me babbling in between is to give people time to get up to the stage if you hadn't tripped to that already. Bill, can we have you next? But I'm running out of easily conveyed anecdotes. You may have heard this one. We'd run into each other periodically, and at one point this guy saw us talking to each other on the corner, like right down at the corner here. And he said, this is not a conversation between Nellie Wong and Kim Shak, just randomly on the street. But that is what San Francisco is and always has been. All right, Bill.
Just this stool over a little bit so people
It's a slightly wobbly stool. So far, hasn't been a
That's
problem.
what people skip.
IWW school?
Yeah, you know.
Very good. Very good.
It's a good call.
Okay, I've known Nellie since the 70s. We just went to the same readings, and and then I moved up to Petaluma in 99, 98, somewhere around there. And I hadn't seen her for a while, so I got involved with the Petaluma Poetry Walk, and I invited her up about 8 years ago just because I hadn't heard her in a while and I really wanted to. So I'm going to do a couple of her poems. One from her last book, which is the next one that Robert read. This is the one across from me. Never would I have guessed. Never would I have guessed that poetry would envelop and expand my world. When I, wide-eyed, loved the Bobbsey twins, Wonder Woman leaping over cities faster than lightning, illuminating my girlhood fantasies of good and evil, with Ma and Baba clapping at movie villains. Losses. When love triumphed. When guy got girl, always the movies brought escape from working in our great China restaurant. Ohs and ahs emitted from our lips, forgetting our yellow lives for 2 hours. Poetry was no interloper. Gypsies, pensioners, boxers, jewelry salesmen ate, laughed, even gamblers, butchers, and prostitutes, such effervescence for my 10-year-old eyes. Oh, they warred and loved these, our customers, some illegal, some of humble and modest means, occupied my world then and now. They emerge as I smell Ma's donuts frying, grateful for poetry, however it rises. And I really like this one too. It's called this is from the book she did with Jean Powell. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Typing the menu. Not a day goes by when Ma, in her blue waitress uniform, stops me reading the Oakland Tribune to dictate precisely at 3:30 p.m. the next day's menu. All right, Ma says in English. Tomorrow we'll serve baked spaghetti, beef stew with potatoes and carrots, fried breast of lamb and boiled ox tongue with Spanish sauce. My mouth waters as she decided the next day's special. Ma doesn't need to say breaded veal cutlers, fried oysters, or prime rib of beef, because these were always on the menu every day. Though I can write in shorthand, I scribble the specials in longhand and step down from Baba's office and insert a piece of paper into the old royal typewriter. I type tomorrow's menu, watching the purple letters spring up like soldiers marching in unison, filling the paper, such plums and grapes for our daily lives. I proofread carefully the typed menu, making sure I typed the correct specials that Ma dictated, making sure that each item was spelled correctly just from memory, because spell check was a futuristic ploy. With the labor of my fingers, my eyes, my back, staring at the list of items that range from halibut steak for 50 cents to prime rib of beef for 95 cents, knowing that my fingers help to support the family, my secretarial skills, a blip of the family business known as the Great China Restaurant, Ai Zhong Hua at 723 Webster Street in Chinatown, Oakland, California. When my sisters and I labored without wage, but survived with tips and Ngo Fawn, beef over rice, served us by Bok Gung, the head cook, when Ma and Baba weren't looking. When World War II filled the Great China with customers, Pinky of Millen's Jewelers, Mr. Carlson's of Carlson's Confecture, confectionery, Johnny, the boxer, and his girlfriend Lucille, with her ruby red lips and white teeth, Theon Doy, single men, families, pensioners, workers from gas stations, the parachute factory, the herb and poultry stores, tenants from the Aloha Hotel, gypsies with their love for bowls of steamed rice overflowing with gravy. Typing the menu, a job I didn't apply for, but became mine in between making coffee, milkshakes, and lettuce and tomato salads. Anxious for tips that filled the glasses kept beneath the Formica counter, understanding, even then, that money grew not on trees, but through our labor, typing the menu, drying silverware, stringing string beans, refilling granulated sugar jars, washing the coffee urn on tiptoes, sweeping, mopping. Baba inventorying and planning the next day's supplies, vegetable oil, flour, 50-pound sacks of rice, flank steak, cello, the great China restaurant, our second home, sandwiched between regular school and Chinese school, our days of wonder, questions, fatigue, anticipation, and simmering American dreams.
Devora. So I can now actually not see who else is in the audience. So I do know one more person that we asked to read who I know is here because we said hello to each other earlier. Can I just quickly see hands of people who are here to read that we've invited? Yeah, I know you're here. There are a couple people I feel like aren't here. So I may end up punting. Anyway. Thank you, Devora.
So I've been trying to remember when I met Nellie. I totally can't. It's somewhere between 40 and 50 years ago. Our paths crossing in poetry readings. I remember her having me down to the bookstore to read. And coming to a reading I did at UC Berkeley and telling me I had mistitled my poem. She was right. She was absolutely right. But anyway, I brought two poems. One, a poem by her, and one that I rewrote today to be for her. And I did this book called The Other Side of the Postcard, and I was sending it to somebody. And I would just, I haven't seen this in a long time. I was reading to it, and it opened to Nellie's poem. And then the next day I found out that she had passed. So I'm bringing this poem because that was the poem that came to me. And also the poem, it's called Praise Song for a Dead Girl. What I appreciated is, one of the things I appreciate about Nellie is that she saw. She didn't just see her striations or her world as so many of us do. She saw. For a girl of mixed race found strangled to death and stuffed into a duffel bag behind Caro's restaurant, Castro Valley, California, on May 1st, 2003. On International Workers' Holiday, workers at Caro's restaurant found you, strangled and stuffed into a duffel bag, dumped behind the restaurant. On this May Day, as millions of working people celebrated the world over, you gave your last breath. You were 13, maybe 15 or 17, of mixed race, part black, part white, part Asian, part Latina, part Native American, or all of the above. No one will ever know. No one has claimed you, no mother or father, no uncle or aunt, not even a loving grandmother, a teacher, a next-door neighbor. What did you do, dear sister, except try to live, to study algebra, U.S. history, or even computer science, to swim or play tennis, to while away hours listening to Eminem, Christina Aguilera, Nellie. Perhaps you love to dance, play jigsaw puzzles, babysat, tried pot, waited on tables, peddled handmade necklaces of rhinestones on Market Street in San Francisco. Perhaps you ran away from home to escape abuse, arriving in California to lose yourself, to find a new identity. Now a man, a gardener with a teenage daughter, has come forth to honor you, to bury you. An anonymous donor is paying for your burial clothes. And at your memorial service this hot July, your newfound friends will say farewell to you, a girl with no name, who simply lived until a pair of enraged hands decided your demise. This praise song is for you, a girl who must have laughed, cried, and fought home at last amid the care and love of strangers and workers. I just think it's so beautiful. I always talk about, staying on the long road, I have to say, when I was a teenager and Black Power movement and all, we thought we were going to have it all solved. We were convinced. We were convinced, but Nellie stayed on the road, I'm trying to stay on the road. So this is called resistance. When you count the fallen, this one woman did not fall. When you count those who quietly accepted prisons of tears and madness, color neutralization, the never-ending wars, when you take the time to count those who did not see the use for struggle and those who could not find the time, when you find the withered who lost the dream, the bent saplings who never found one, when you look for complacency, Nellie was never in their numbers. She refused to throw up her hands in despair. In the face of odds that called her dreams a long shot, she played to win, saw time as a road and traveled it long and hard, refused to be an unlisted casualty of war, refused to forget, refused to be subdued, or to find revolution in armchair profession or summertime fad. This one woman fought for justice. This one unmiracle maker is going to be a part of the dream when it happens. Will be a spirit catcher. Will struggle for the dream when the body fails, when the heart stops. When you count the fallen, Nellie Wong will not be in their number.
Remarkable. Thank you. Gail? There's, for those who can't see this, there's a little bit of, we're pretty tight in here. So, I don't think any of our knees work like they used to.
Free the poetry one.
Yeah, it's real.
No, I stuck the cane out of the chair and couldn't dig it. Hey, sister, how you doing?
These and other things that I'm now learning about canes. Do you need a hand?
Here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ay, ay, ay.
I get it.
Hi, family. How's everybody?
Missing Nellie.
Oh, God. Let's not start there because the tears will come. I met
I need you to be closer to the mic.
You do, don't you?
Yeah, I really do.
Can I sit? How far out? God, I met Nellie, Mateo, my friend's son is 30. So about 30 years ago, we read it. It was Nellie, Neely, and Gail. And we read in Oakland. And I think she said her sister was a librarian. And there was so much incredible energy happening then. And then she lured me into a socialist freedom party. And I'm much more of a God groupie, you know. I'll chant Krishna. I'll sit and meditate. But the amazing thing is they always wanted to feed you, and they fed you fabulous food. And so Nellie and I reconnected, and we decided we'd take her for lunch, and she forgot. She was over in Oakland. She had a reading. Something was happening. And I called this one, and I called Bert and Beckett. I called Eric because I didn't have anything but a landline. And they both gave me the numbers, and she showed up, and we went to the Chinese restaurant. Okay. So I just got this, and I wanted to read something from Nellie because I couldn't find my long-steam lady. Not from the food. Once I organized a dinner for office friends, and I was proud when I ordered barbecue spare ribs, egg roll appetizers, bird nest soup, empress chicken with asparagus, Peking duck and 1,000-layer buns, lobster Cantonese, mushrooms, grass, black button, yang jiao, fried rice, sweet and sour rock cod, oolong tea, fortune cookies, and almond delight. And I was prouder still when I invited my guest to tour dark alleys, the sing-song waves of faces, peeping from second-story windows, pointing to ducks, squabs, 1,000-year-old eggs, me on the perimeter of Chinatown, with my office friends, gulping wine, holding my nose, masked, playing Oriental, inscrutable, wise, now standing before a brass spittoon. I recall that time, and I want to puke. Not from the food, my friend, not from the food. It was the care she took with everyone she met. Some people talk about love, and others are love. A good talk. Blessed be the blues that entangle us in these long, drawn-out conversations where words are the only currency exchanged. Towers are built, and we find ourselves indebted to each other by the dialogue until we find the common thread and beauty unfolds. Sometimes, with memories attached, and we are driven down paths that return us to selves we thought were forever lost, inside, outside. Moments echo like a car backfiring in the night. Somewhere an old lady, praising God, clutches her chest, glad it was not gunshots. My guardians, mystery and mercy, could be twins, and ought to be at least sisters. They are cut from the same cloth. Their eyes twinkle with knowledge. They are too young to possess, and they both giggle and smell like jasmine and cedar. Grounded. Sometimes you awaken, hungry, filled with longing. You touch everything and want to go to the ocean, as if all the answers will be found in sandcastles and salt air. But the smell of coffee is strong in the kitchen, another beginning of something that may be revealed for the first time. Okay.
Do you need a hand?
Oh, thank you, baby.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to give this to you.
I will hold on to that.
And this.
Yeah.
It becomes a thing. knees don't work anymore.
It's a specific kind of juggling, y'all.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. I know for a fact there were 2 other people that were going to be here who I don't see yet. So I am going to see if I can make the machine give me a poem. And then I think we could go to you guys because we don't want to make people just sit here. You would think that I'd be better at this. What I should have done is call up one of my younger friends who are sitting up there and say, make my poem happen. It's somewhere. I'm going to try to read it. We'll see how I do. That's not right. I went too far. I'm probably going to also do, because I do these periodically for folks, I'll probably also have a reading of her work at the main library at some point. And obviously, someone will have told me who I missed. It should be right here, but it's not. There we are. Good tea for Nellie. Rain is a known quantity. The January San Francisco we both knew from different hills, though we grew closer year and year. I wonder if violas still grow outside your home and if they'll keep growing there. Over the culvert, near the Ghost Bridge down towards the bay, when I found a copy of Long Steam Woman right after you told me it was hard to get in a free box on the street. Watching Doug unpark the van, 3 inches to spare on either side, that reading down in the Mission, the lunch with Merle, the one reading that had started it all, in the audience with Carol Lee. I taste all of your delicious words and drank the Black Dragon with the crack of your voice in my mind's ear in all of our places. And I might even make you dumplings again. Though they won't be as good as you remembered. Thank you. So, I just think can I just have, by a round of applause, how many people ended up buying the Socialist Worker newspaper? Because once a year or so, it was the conversation we had. Call me up. Did you renew? No, I didn't. I didn't yet renew. So I think we're going to move on to the sort of music slash Jenny flow moment, because I don't see Avacha, and unless the other person I'm waiting for is here and I have not seen her. No. So let's do that thing. So I think there's a moment to like untangle yourself from your chair and maybe rock your feet back and forth a little bit. Again, thank you all for being here.
All right. Go ahead. Yeah, is it time to start?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Flo, Nell's tag-along sister. She loved to call me Gai Na Oi, which means feisty hen chicken. And a few days before she passed, she called me that again. And I liked the way she remembered things that I didn't want remembered. What can I say except that ever since Nell has passed, she has been with me in my dreams and, going to sleep and wondering where she is, because we used to text from 11 at night to 1 in the morning.
Wow.
About dramas that we saw, about poems. And I spoke a little bit more of Hoi Sanwa than she did, so she would call for verification of the words she wanted to use. And our last phone call came down to one word. And I knew that I couldn't answer any longer because that's all she had the energy to do. Nellie was an amazing, amazing sister. I discovered her talent when my husband was graduating from Stanford with a PhD, and I bought a shaver for him. And she says, well, what are you going to do with the present? I said, wrap it. And she said, well, can I wrap it for you? And let me tell you what she did. She took the package and she gave it a mortarboard and a graduation robe. My tongue went down to my toenails, and I just couldn't believe it. And then she was doing a family newspaper for our whole family. Everybody reported what was going on, and she sent it out to us. And I said, Nellie, you're going to have to take it outside of the family. You need a wider audience. So she went to Oakland High School night class where she met her ex-husband, Jim, and she was on her way. And what happened was that when we were at home, there were 3 sisters that had boyfriends, or what you call suitors or anything. We had one couch. And so whoever the sister was with her boyfriend took up the couch. The next sister had to stay on the porch and hold hands and do whatever you do when you're in love. And then the third sister had to stay in a car or a truck. And so we always tried to be the first, sister in so we could have the place to ourselves. And then there was my mother. She looked through the curtain by her bedroom and peeped just in case we were doing things that young girls and guys wanted to do, but you can't do in front of your mother, And so what happened was that I turned 80 in 1975, and I asked Jenny and Nell to read with me at the Chinese Historical Society in Chinatown. And unfortunately, Nell was sick and couldn't come, so Jenny and I read, and we each had extra 5 minutes, and we both read in Hoi Sanwa. And then we looked at each other and we went, whoa. So Jenny comes to me and says, Flo, I've read my poems all over the place, and this is one of my best readings and my favorite readings. I said, why? She said, because we spoke Hoi Sanwa. And Hoi San is a dialect that is spoken in 5 regions of China, and nobody respected us because they said we spit. They didn't respect us because we weren't highfalutin like those who spoke in Beijing or Shanghai or wherever else. And I didn't give a damn because I wanted to honor my mother and father as Jenny honored her mother and father and family. And so Jenny said to me, let's continue to do this. And I went, oh, okay. And even though Nellie was sick, I called her up and she says, I'm in. And so what we're going to do tonight is to pay tribute to the sister that I just miss. I mean, January 2nd, and today is the 27th for 25 days. And she hasn't come to me in a dream yet. I'm going to have to complain to her. So here we go.
Start
Yeah,
with
yeah,
her.
yeah. Go ahead.
We're starting
Yeah.
with Nellie's poem. And Nellie's captured in there, in that little speaker.
Oh, let me get out of the way of the speaker.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's her poem, My Chinese Love.
Oh, and her name means beautiful love.
You just turned it up.
That is 100%.
Oh, it was on.
Is it on?
Yeah. It's good. It's good. No.
It's turned off. You gotta turn it back on.
No, it's on.
It's on.
It's trying to pair.
It's trying to pair.
You gotta bring it back there. I'll do. Bring it back here.
Ready to pair.
Ready to pair.
Connect us with YMCA.com.
So,
We needed an engineer. I don't know what I'm doing.
And this is the amazing Young.
Yeah, he was teaching
He's really
her.
old, but we call him Young.
YMCA.com.
He didn't hear that.
He was Nellie's Tai Chi teacher. Qigong teacher. It should come on. Yeah.
Home and sweet. Home and sweet nuôi, home and sweet, U.S. born, Oakland, Hong and Foul, Oakland, Chinatown. Home and sweet, Ama, a fun, go ahead, fed me rice. A Okmoji, a son, Wajet, gave me shelter, clothes to wear. Home and sweet, nê cao núi khoai. You taught me, bad girl. Nê cao núi, ho núi. You taught me, good girl. Ngơ khởi sĩ bạc lại hảo phạt. Now I am full of white hair. Ngơ khởi sĩ bong cho sai gai nó con nhìn. I fight for working people in this world. Thank you, Mom, Pop. Ho mem sui.
it's fine. It's fine. We're done.
And that was Nellie, so she's in the house. We called ourselves the Last Hoisan Poets, and then we started collaborating with the amazing Del Sol Quartet. We collaborated with them several times on Angel Island in the Immigration Detention Center, and then at the De Young Museum, the Asian Art Museum, and at pop-ups. And now we're kind of a family, and that we all are here for Nellie. Okay, I do mine.
Yeah. Right here. My Chinese love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Chinese Love by Nellie Wong. My Chinese love does not climb the moon gate toward heaven, nor flowers in a garden of peonies and chrysanthemums. My Chinese love lives in the stare of a man in a coolie hat, smiling to himself, content in the meandering of his mind.
My Chinese love lives in the voices of my grandmothers who don't see me, their granddaughter writing and singing their joys and sorrows. Yet they pass me by on the streets, chattering among themselves, keeping warm in crocheted hats, carrying plastic yellow sacks of Chinese greens.
The Though concubines and priestesses flourished during the dynasties, they are not only my Chinese love. My Chinese love cannot be suppressed in the inequities of the past, cannot be uplifted only through the love poems of ancient women. My Chinese love flourishes in the wails of women selling dried noodles, in the small hands of their daughters who have been sold.
How American is my Chinese love? How anxious, how true. Taxicabs and rickshaws whiz through the streets of Hong Kong as sampans drift along the Mekong while women wash their families' clothes, greeting me as an American tourist.
My Chinese love wanders in search of dreams and memories of visions still unseen. My Chinese love is noisy, clacks of mahjong tiles rising from basement rooms, permeates like peanut oil from my mother's kitchen, shines in the bright eyes of my father who growls and scares the customers in our great China restaurant.
My Chinese love is my uncle whose skin yellowed from a lifetime of opium addiction, yet who was born whole and pure. My Chinese love is my curiosity of his young life, how he arrived a bachelor on America's shores to bake Chinese apple pies. My Chinese love burns. It laughs in the voices of children sharing oranges with their neighborhood friends.
My Chinese love is a warrior. Physical death cannot swallow it, banish it from a woman who won't rest until she exhales the spirit of each woman, man and child still fighting to eat and live on this, our inherited earth.
There's a big photo of Hong Lu's identity certificate or passport when she entered the country, hanging up in the Diang Museum. And the last Khoisan poets, Nellie Flo and I, did a tribute to her with Delso Quartet. And I wrote this for her. My true name. Don't ask me my true name. Don't ask me the date of my birth or the place where I left myself behind. Don't ask me if I'm a citizen, a resident, an alien, a tourist, or a gaji, paper daughter, or other, like the stars in the heavens. I am not other than I. You only glimpse the shadow of me, the air between our breaths. In the life of men, boundaries shift with the stroke of a pen. Don't ask me my true identity. My memory is forged. Once my passport was handed me, my journey between worlds expired. I was free to leave my life behind. I was free to dream who I was. But lineage is stronger than hollow bamboo. Juxing my blood, the color of Hang Ha, red clay. So don't ask me my true name unless you know all my names. Hu Ji Nui, Bi Nui, Moi Moi, Day Day, Paw Paw, Leo Kim. Mother, daughter, sister, Pang Yu, friend. Until you can cross that bridge with me, until you walk with me and let my shadow go before me, until you remember the stories that history forgets. You can't dot the missing I in my true name.
I had the opportunity of visiting Hong Lu's mother and aunt in China, in Beijing. And the meal that they cooked for us was this wonderful, wonderful. It's this one of these ancient Chinese cooking pots. You put charcoal in it, and it was just an amazing experience. If you're wearing a red string, will you hold up your hand and just show me where your red string is? Okay, the word in Huaisanhua for red string is hong thin.
And I read to you Ode to Red String. Red string, Hong Klin. Winds around pink dim sum boxes packed with char siu bao, gai dan go, ha gao, siu mai, and more. Red string, Hong Klin, binds hearts of multi-generational family and community. We whose ancestors braved the Taiping, the Pacific Ocean, to settle in Faki Guok, land of the flowery flag, where streets were not paved with gold. Red string, Hong Lin, strong yet thread-like, a legacy of moons ago, still tie our supple hearts that beat in cadence as we breathe Hong Lin, trust with softened hands.
I wrote this poem for Nellie. I was to see her on the Saturday, and she passed that Friday night before I was able to see her. I got a call from Andy telling me, I knew when she called me that it was not good news. So I never got to see her.
We're gonna play a piece first.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm jumping the gun. Delso's going to play. I probably need the time to, yeah.
Just to introduce the piece. So we got to work with the amazing Flo and Nellie and Jenny for the first time in 2020. It was, it was supposed to happen live and ended up being this incredible live stream from our house with green screen. Everyone thought they were on Angel Island because we were green screening them from Angel Island. It was epic and amazing and set off a whole set of adventures that we got to have. We got to be Nellie's string quartet. She would always look at us and just smile and beam and cry and just, good for the ego of just saying how beautiful we sounded. So this was a favorite of hers. It's called Mongolian Dance. It's by a composer, Mei-Lina Choi.
Journey to Cloud Village. In the dead of night, the palm trees shudder before the roaring wind. Wong Lung, the Dragon King, sweeps through the Embarcadero, his long tail glistening as it dashes against the causeway, leaping to the seawall where it splashes into swirling foam. The wolf moon disappears behind a gray blanket of clouds. The winds howl on this long winter night, echoing the wolf's cry for food and mate, necessities of life. The January wind sweeps through the streets, carrying the poet's spirit from earth to sky. Dede, I see you, Nellie, walking barefoot. Where's your dragon king? There's Nellie walking with her dragon king, which she got in China. She bought it the same time Alice Walker has the same cane. Yeah. I see her with her dragon king climbing the mountain to Cloud Village. She's looking for Dingling and Hong Lu. The village asks her, 你儿苏呀? Who are you? She writes down her name in Chinese. They search in the ancestral book. They don't see her name. Mo koi, mo miang ne. They tell her it's not there. American-born Chinese girl is lost. Across the sea, the bridge has broken from ancestor to daughter. But she doesn't give up. She finds a piece of paper and a pen, and she writes a poem. Hope you see, once upon a time. The music of the lute and the ngewu wafted down onto Webster Guy, above the Silver Dragon Cafe, where the night's tendrils snared a young girl's ears. And she, Lai Oi, is home. I'm so carried away that I know what I'm doing and then I don't know what I'm doing.
Same way.
Yeah. So thank you for your patience. Now that I'm an elder, I know how to be slower. Not by choice. It's come to me as a gift. Sometimes a gift I don't want, but it happens. So my poem for Nell is called Hang Heart. Ho I am. So for the Chinese, when we say that we're caring about something or concerned about something, we literally say that our heart is no longer where it is, but it's gone down to the toenails. And so that's the meaning of hang heart. And ho I am, great courage. And if there's anybody that I know and love that has great courage, Nellie has it. I go in between talking about her in the present tense because I don't want to let her go. And then I suddenly realize that her spirit is here, her voice is here, her legacy is here, but not her physical presence. Hang heart. Ho I am. I am. I am. Great courage. Great courage.
Lai oi, ngoi ga di di. Beautiful love, my older sister. Ho I am. Great courage. Nay, fly goiden see. When you were young, Lim ho I, heart very big. Kwa lim nigga lin high, hang heart your body. Kwa lim baba mama du tan gon. Hang heart baba mama running a restaurant. Kwa lim di di, moi moi plai law. Hang heart, older sisters, younger sisters, little brother. Kwa lim ai jung wa. Flan doi, hang heart, Great China's bachelor workers. Nay uk jo, jung hot in si. When you graduated from high school, Wan Quat Lim, you still worry. Nuing in the flu, women's issues. Wan Quat Lim, you still worry. Gong in the flu, you still worry. Workers' issues. Nay Deng Lai Lona, Wan Quat Lim, when you grew older, still worry. Mi guak, tun sai gai, nutlu, America's and global issues. Mama wa, ni hong yin yit goi. Mama said, you are a brave person. Jingawa, really, very true. Ha Mang Sui means that you have good life's water. So when you go home tonight, just remember, you have good life's water. Ha Mang Sui by the last Hoi San poets. Ha Mang Sui, Jin Ga Haiwa, good life's water. It's really true. Ha Mang Sui, Ha Mang Sui, good life's water, good life's water. Jin Ga Haiwa, Jin Ga Haiwa. It's really true. It's really true.
Ho Mang Sui, Lei Yip Wa, Hoi San Wa Wa, Hoi San Po. The accent's got a swing like the tail of the ox pulling its cart along the Pearl River Delta. Like Ishi frozen in time, they say we never really left China. Ho Mang Sui, Hoi San Wa. Ho Mang Sui, Ho Mang Sui, Ho Mang Sui. Del Sol Quartet, Catherine Bates, Charlton Lee, Hei Young Woon, and Ben Creeth. You forgot one thing, Eric. The tissue box. Where?
Yeah. I want you to know that there are 3 representatives of Nell's family here today. My nephew Sam. Where are you, Sam? Yeah, and there he is. He was instrumental in helping Nell and caring for her in her last days. My daughter also flew from New York and came and stayed with her for 5 nights because Nellie didn't want to be alone. And my daughter, Leisha, and Nell, they're both Virgos, same birthday, years apart. And our niece, Vicky, she's the oldest member, the first granddaughter, the wonderful granddaughter. And all I can say is that we love Nell now, in the past, and in the future. And we all go to heaven. We're going to go to a different creative heaven. We're not going to the other heaven. And we're going to see Honolulu. We're going to see Moira Roth. We're going to see Faith Ringgold. We're going to see, and Jeff Kelly. Hong's husband has just recently passed. And I want to thank Mara Grimes, Andy Wong, Young Wong, whom I call Lo Wong Doi. That means Lo Wong means his surname, but Lo Wong Doi.
Even though he's younger than us.
Yeah, he's younger than us. And we're here together. We're here together in this mix-up world that we have, where Minnesota is just look at my face, we're together. We are the good in the world. And we do things, and we're brave enough to do that. So if you are a beginning poet, please continue. If you're an established poet, please continue. If you're a not middle of the road, but middle poet, please continue. The world would be lost without us. And if you're an artist, go. And so before Nell passed, she was showing me the beautiful art she has in her place. It was just so stunning. And so she decided she wanted to add a name to her titles. It's poet, artist, activist. And so now in the future, when you go to 723 Webster Street in the Oakland Chinatown, you will see a plaque. We are working on a plaque to honor her presence because she was born at 723 Webster Street. And so she said to me before she passed, she said, Flo, will you take care of that? And like a tag-along sister, I said yes. And then you can go to the corner and see my collaborative mural. And then those of you who know that our brother Bill has written Sons of Chinatown. And if it weren't for Andy Wong and Mara and Leanne Lam and Young, they're the ones that are just there to make our light shine. And just remember, all of you have light. Don't hide it. This world is so dark right now. We need your light. Thank you. Oh, gosh.
Oh, so beautiful. Well said, well said.
Yeah.
Hold him.
Yeah, hold him. Yeah. And if you want lessons in Hoisong, I only charge a penny a phrase.